what I want to kind of get out of this episode here is just like, what is the best way for us to approach behavior if it is our role within safeguarding and pastoral support? If we're combining the two together there, what is it? What is the best way for us to approach it? And also, what training can we receive? Like, what can we go for in order to kind of really build our knowledge on the best approaches to managing behavior within our schools?
So the right-hand signpost is we could do that. We could go down that. That's the seduction of simplicity, I call that, which was a phrase I heard used by Jonathan Bryan many years ago, and I loved it. The seduction of simplicity is to do what we've always done, to allow reactive states to dominate a situation. So our reactive fight, flight, all of that sort of defense threat mechanisms, the more stressed we are, the more that we use them. It might be a case of, well, they'll just have to. And the just have to means that I can't resource myself out of a different solution. Do you know what I mean? It's not actually they just have to. It's just that that's the only context I can get to because my resources are out. So therefore I'm in overwhelm. Yeah. So that's an option, the reactive option, the habits, the way we've always done it. Punishments and rewards are a big part of that. Carrot and stick. My carrot and my stick are behind me. I do a lot of talking about moving away from rewards and punishments. And that's a whole separate webinar because of the way that it actually affects development. What's our long-term goals, and how are we helping a child grow? And in fact, a community, a system, an organization, it involves the adults as well. Adults in dichotomous systems, unhealthy systems, punitive systems are working in reactive states all the time because that's the only option in their system. So for all of those reasons, we could go right, which is, I see the map in my head, obviously, and we could go down the road, which is the seduction of simplicity. And I always say we are human and we will do that. And there's no judgment. As long as we reflect and we readjust and we realign, that's okay because there's a pull there. The other side of the map is we can avoid something. And I actually think that sometimes we need to actually prioritize things. We can't tackle everything at once. And so sometimes an avoid mechanism can actually stop us from being overwhelmed. So it can actually help us stay within our window of tolerance ourselves. Our system, if we're in leadership, moves into its window of tolerance. So occasionally we can't deal with everything, but we need to really prioritize what we're avoiding. Are we avoiding it because we're in overwhelm, like you just said? Was that just too difficult for me? Are we avoiding it because actually cognitively, cortically, we've made a balanced decision that based on our direction of travel, this actually can sit back for a while? Otherwise, our system will become overwhelmed. So there's those two options. The third path on my map goes straight ahead, and it goes to the getting it right island. Of course it does. And then to the side of it, there's this fainter path, which wiggles, circles round, does a dip back. That's the realistic situation. We don't set a direction of travel and the whole system jumps on and we just go there. And this is humans with humans. This is infinitely complex stuff. And on my map in the distance, there's Jupiter and a few stars, and it says infinite complexity. And one of the things that I talk about is that we have to accept the fact it's infinitely complex rather than use that as a reason not to try. And so we go back to the beginning of the direction of travel route, and I say we do it in sequenced steps. And then I try and provide some of those early sequence steps, like the 3 R's from Dr. Bruce Perry. We regulate before we relate, before we move on to reason. If we keep defaulting to that cycle, we'll build the foundations first. Relationships pave that way hugely. We're social animals. We're one of the most dependent mammals there are. And I use bite-sized psychology as well, because that's a thread. Psychology and sort of therapeutic work is my personal interest. So I use models from those areas as well. And the idea is that we just try and move in this direction of travel. And yes, it won't always be perfect, but it's about the reflective cycles and readjusting to that direction of travel.